Hey friends, for this workout, again, please make sure you're warmed up before you get started. Pause me now and warm up if you have not already. For this workout, you're going to need a band, a kettlebell, and a stool or bench or med ball or BOSU ball, something that you can drape yourself over, drape your back over. So I'll demonstrate it when we get to it. Just try and keep that in mind for right now. A chair won't work. So just something that you can roll your back over the top of. All right, so our first one, we're gonna have diagonal deadlifts. Set up slightly wider than hip distance. I don't want us as wide as we'd go sumo, and we're not going narrow, so just slightly wider than hip distance. Kettlebell in hand. So when you hinge at the hip, all we're gonna do is lean further into one leg, and the opposite leg, you're going to put the kettlebell in front of. So if I'm going to throw my weight into my right side, the kettlebell is going to land in front of my left foot. And come back up. I'm going to throw my weight now into my left leg. The kettlebell is going to land in front of my right foot. Okay, from the side. Notice how one leg stays straight and I'm throwing my weight all into the other side. Okay, we're putting that with dead stop push-ups. Quick refresher on the dead stop push-up. Hands just underneath, essentially your armpits. Pick them up, place them back down, engage the glutes and quads, press. 1 unit. Pick your hands up, place them back down, engage the glutes and quads, press. Your numbers for this: 16 total deadlifts and 8 push-ups. We're going through this 4 times. Again, 16 deadlifts, be 8 each side, 8 push-ups, go through it 4 times. Go ahead and pause me and then I'll show you what you're going to be doing in between. All right, now that you've done your first set and you're nice and sweaty, this is what we're going to be doing in between each one. So after the next 2 circuits, go ahead right into these. It's a squat thrust with a high knee jump. Go ahead and lay your band on the ground because you're going to be going side to side on it. So squat thrust, high knee jump. Squat thrust, high knee jump. All right, once we've got that down, each squat thrust, switch sides. Okay? 12 of those. Go ahead, get them in. Take a minute to catch your breath, everybody. We're going to move on to the next circuit. I should have mentioned in the beginning, you also do need your dumbbells. For this one, we're going deadlift. Remember, kettlebell's right in between our toes. Hinge at the hips, chest stays up. If you're feeling this too much in your lower back, drop your butt more and sit with the bell more. So it's just like you're sitting on a chair. Get lower instead of hinging. Okay, and still pop the hips at the top. We're combining that with chest flies. So we're here. Again, I went low back, tucked onto the ground. And press. Think your knuckles stay facing each other the whole time, or palms stay facing each other the whole time. Again, at the top, the weights do not float over your face. Keep them over your chest. Our numbers: 16 and 16. 16 deadlifts, 16 flies. Go right into those burpees or those squat thrusts with the high knee jump. Afterwards, take a pause. All right, go ahead, pause me, get that in. Okay, our very last circuit, there's going to be a lot of progressions and regressions on some of these movements, so the explanation is going to take a little bit of time. So the first one, we're going to go through a single leg hip thrust. You're on the ground. One leg is up. I wanted you to keep it bent, and I do not want your elbows on the ground. Okay, that will give you the ability to use it as a lever, leverage, to push yourself up. Elbows off the ground. If you need to interlace your fingers, so you know not to cheat and put them on the ground. Here we're up and back down, up and back down. The other side, up and back down. So single leg hip thrust. This is where you'll need your stool, a medicine ball. You can even stack up just a couple of pillows. If you have nothing, that's okay too. I will show you the regression. I'm going to add a quick correction to this video. You can use a chair. Just make sure the chair doesn't have arms on it. So to set this up on a chair, set yourself up. You want it just underneath your scapulas. Okay, this is what I don't want to see though. Because you're so high, since the chair is a little bit higher, your hips are going to want to drop. Again, make sure those hips are tucked, glutes are engaged, lower abs are pulling upwards. Weight starts here and still goes from your head, beyond, and back up. First one, the hardest version of it. You're going to need your dumbbells, a dumbbell. You're going to put your shoulders on whatever object you have. Head is going to be rested. Hips are thrust. Weights overhead. You're going to bring it over your head and beyond your head. So underneath, and we pull back up. And we pull back up. Okay? On a med ball, just drape your shoulders over the top of your med ball. It's going to require a little bit more stability, but it can be done. If you have a short little stool, it'll be the same as on the bow, so your shoulders will lay right on the stool. On a med ball, here, overhead. And the very last one, if you do not have either of those things or even pillows, that's totally fine. Here, hips are up, weights overhead, and bring it all the way to your hips. All right, so single leg hip thrust, overhead pulls, numbers. Here we go, single leg hip thrust, 15 each side. Overhead pulls, 15. Here we go, 4 rounds through, get them in. And then go ahead and get your squat thrust and high knees in. Okay, everybody, take a second to catch your breath. Our finisher for this one is going to be a follow along. So once you've had a second, go ahead down onto all fours, hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your belly button, toes are loaded. Your knees are going to be 1 inch off the ground. Here we go, let's pick up the right foot, send it underneath the body straight. Notice how my outside of my right foot is on the ground. From here, I'm going to push up. My hip hits the ground. So I'm laying on the ground right now. And then we're going to come back up, weights off the ground, except for the outside of my right foot. Bring it back underneath. Pick up the left foot, set it underneath the body. Straighten that leg. Outside of the left foot's on the ground. Push up. Notice how all my weight is now laying down on the ground. Push back up and come underneath. Right leg, pick it up. Send it underneath the body. Outside of the right foot is laying on the ground. Push up and up. Right leg comes back into your beast position. Pick up the left foot. Send it underneath the body. Outside of your left foot's on the ground. Drop down. Push up. Left leg comes underneath. One more time. Right leg. Pick it up. Send it underneath the body straight. Push. Bring it back underneath you. Left leg, pick it up. Send it underneath the body. All your weight's on the outside of your left foot. Lay down. Push up. Come back. Good. Shake your arms out. Let's go ahead and set up in a deep squat. As deep as you can go. If your deep squat's here, that's totally fine. As low as you can go. All right, so we want our arms to stay at shoulder width, reaching in front of us. Shoulders impacted, so we're not rounded in the spine. Shoulders are impacted. All I want you to do is keep your palms facing together. We're going to lift overhead. Think biceps around the ears. And bring it back down. Again, Lift. And bring it back down. 2 more times. Lift. And bring it back down. Last one. Good. From here, go ahead, walk out to your high plank. Good. We're going to follow that same sequencing of throwing the legs underneath the body and push. Pick up your right leg, send it underneath your body, all your weight's on your right, outside of your right foot. All the way down, push it back all the way up. Back to the high plank. Left leg, send it underneath the body. Lay down, push it back up, back to the high plank. Right leg, pick it up, send it underneath the body. Outside of your right foot's on the ground. Come down, push up, back to the high plank. One more, left side, outside of the left foot. Push, back to your high plank. Good, rest. Last sequence, back to that deep squat. We have 4 overhead reaches. Here we go, arms nice and long. And overhead. Bring it back down. Reach overhead. Bring it back down. 2 more. Reach up. And down. Last one, reach up, hold. And bring it back down. Good, nice work, everybody.